They call you the king of boys.
Get the food down here. No, you understand because you're trusting for child.
Hi guys, welcome to another exciting edition of Movie Review with Lady Lighton. And today I am excited because I finally get the chance to review Tunde Kilani's movie. I grew up watching Tunde Kilani from Shower Day to Agogo War and all of that. I still watch those movies because they talk about the ills in the society and a lot of things that you could learn from with traditional and every other thing. So today I am doing Ayinla. Yes, you guessed right. Ayinla is trending on Netflix right now, and you know, if you haven't seen it, after this review, I am sure that you would go see it. So Ayinla talks about, it's a story about a popular late legend, the founder of Apala Music, which I literally just found that, Ayinla Omowura. The movie talks about, you know, his fame, the rise, and his untimely death. He did tell us everything about Ayinla, and one thing that really touched me is the fact that Tunde Kilani, you know, before the movie started, tried to interview people, and part of those that were even in Ayinla's life, while he was alive, he still spoke to them, and that was really touching for me. So Ayinla is a movie that had a set in the 1970s in Abeokuta, and you know, it's just a very, very wonderful movie. So guys, let's get into reviewing Purple.
Everyone you go say Apala in London.
Àwa máa gbé Apala wọ London.
London.
And this is going to be Ayinla's debut.
Ayinla, as we know, is a story about Ayinla Omowura, the founder of Apala Music, and I liked the fact that, you know, it's a lot of us don't even know Ayinla Omowura. Like, definitely me speaking for myself, like I didn't know who he was and everything until Tunde Kilani did dig down to get us to this point where we are right now, talking about Ayinla Omowura. His music talks about, you know, heals in a society, talks about individual act, and that is what Tunde Kilani has done. You know, let us just honor this man who died. And both before I go into the review in proper, I just want to say something. You know, learning how he died and his attitude, let us not, you know, just go around with anger, with wrath. You know, keep your anger. Anger can lead to your untimely death, such as Ayinla Omowura, as we have seen in this movie, Ayinla. So guys, let's get into the review proper. First, characterization. I love all the characters. I love what Tunde Kilani does when it comes to, you know, choosing characters to play certain roles. Like, you are not being biased or anything. Like, you can literally see that they interpreted their role so well. Even those that didn't have lines, I love the movement, I love the acting. Even those that just had just one thing to say in the movie, it really shows what it is. I like the fact that, you know, using Adedimeji Lateef as the lead role who played Ayinla, the fact that he had to connect with the Egba, speaking Egba, even his wife, you know, I love it. I love Debo's character, that is Mr. Macaroni, you know, the one who played the manager. Everything was just, I'm like, yes, this is movie. And that is why I come to say, that is why I love Tunde Kilani, and I will say that, you know, always give him his cup. Like, this man is good at what he does. You know, he constantly like gives us a production that even when he had Yepa Sholari, this is a stage play that he did on a set. I was on a set and I saw like, wow, how would he achieve this? But when I watched it on TV, I'm like, wow, this is what we call production. You know, movies shouldn't just be about entertaining alone. Movies should inform you, it should entertain you, and it should educate you. And that is what Tunde Kilani keeps doing, and that is what he has done with Ayinla. Again, I really didn't know about Ayinla until I watched this movie.
His craft.
Lọ forúkọ mi sí London tí ẹ lọ yẹn.
Má bàbá travel. Ẹgbẹ́ ti pín.
Ẹnìkan bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ eré bíi wọ́n kó tọ́ọ̀gì lọ. Nítorí bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ eré bíi wọ́n kó tọ́ọ̀gì lọ.
Mo rò pé nǹkan kan ṣe é náà. Èmi ni wàá gbà ní iṣẹ́ kìíní sí. Ní yọ kí bàbá rọ́ọ̀lù mi, ṣé kí n máa wòran ni?
What did we do to him?
Ayinla nìkan ló lè ṣe.
We are in business.
And two, costuming. Costuming, the fact that you're saying 1970 and you're giving us the old school. I could see all those, I don't know what to call them, because I know that I did see some from my late grandparents, and I could feel it, the plates, the food, even though we still eat, the location, the costume, what you're wearing, the makeup, it was, I just love it. And I love what they did with, Adedimeji's, is it Teddy or you right here, what they call this guy's thing, like, the hair, you had the hair on, Kulia Falayo, you had the hair on Debor, the ladies and Fali and all of them, and it is wonderful. Then when you come to the diction, the language, the wearing to, going over and above, just trying to do this, keep it down the way it should be. No one trying to outshine one or doing, giving us some blabbing. No, it wasn't that. They were flowing. And that is what, even though, like, I still see, like, some were mixing, like, trying to Egba and, the normal, like, Yoruba, but you won't even really, like, see these things if you're not searching. I was searching, that is why I found out, but I love it. And location, coming to think about it, like, Ayinla Omowura lived almost all his lives in Egba, Abeokuta, and that is what Tunde Kilani did. He took us to the city of Abeokuta. You could see the rock, you could see, the Oluma and everything. Not when you're saying that, oh, you're telling us that you're this is what Nollywood do there. You're telling us that you're in Nigeria, or you want to tell us that, oh, you're in UK and you're shooting in your bedroom in Nigeria, and we can feel Nigeria right even from the camera. It doesn't make sense. But when you want to make good production, try to interpret what you want us to feel, and that is what Tunde Kilani did. He did not even waste it. He went straight to Abeokuta to go and shoot it, because Ayinla Omowura's life was in Abeokuta in the 1970s. You can see the cars, you can see the buildings, you can see the bed, the couch, everything was what it is. Even the bottles, like, I don't know how they got those beds, but it is what it is. This is what we call production, and that is why everybody's talking about Ayinla this season.
Nítorí gbogbo wàhálà yìí ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin ẹ̀yin méjèèjì kan kọrin búra yín kan ṣe wàhálà láàrin ìlú. Torí ẹ̀ la ṣe pé kí gbogbo ẹ̀rí kó rodò lọ mú mi.
So, speaking of everything about the costume, the character, the location, the makeup, now let us now talk about this, because there's always a fault somewhere, and this is why I don't understand it. Well, even though I enjoyed the movie and everything, but I still do not get the fact that the women had nails. I had to call my mom and say, "Mommy, do you think Ayinla, do they do this?" Because I did make my research. All those nails were like, no. Back then, when Ayinla was alive, no, there was no artificial nail as of that. And I saw the ladies wearing like lashes. Like, lashes came out when? Like, I can see like individuals on them. Like, no, I felt like whoever did the costume and makeup should have really cleared out. They should have taken off their lashes. Those lashes, And then for Jaye's character, I love what he did, with a woman trying to be a reporter and all of that. But those styles Jaye were wearing weren't even styles back then. No, they weren't styles back then. So whoever did that costuming did a little, didn't do that good research for me. And for the beads, the chokers and all of that they were wearing, no. It's not. It wasn't back then. We can really say these are modern day things. I know you're trying to portray like, yeah, these are people who are educated, but on that part, it wasn't. Let's really do it like, oh, we're talking about the 19s, the all the way back down there, not like bringing modern costume into that. I wouldn't say they didn't try, but for me, it wasn't what it is. Like, the chokers, the neck piece, Jaye's costume, wearing those chiffon on their. No, it's not. I love what they did with Kunle Afolayan's character, because I was actually like, saying, oh, tattoo neck, but then Kunle Afolayan is a man that came from London who came to take Ayinla to London, but unfortunately Ayinla didn't get to London because of his anger and his untimely death.
Èmi ò kì í ṣe ìyàwó yín.
Ìyàwó mi rẹ o.
ǹjẹ́ lè ọmọ àbúrò ìyá mi gangan báyìí ni.
Mo rí yín bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wo ọmọ yẹn lọ.
Àìdẹ́ pé torí ìwà ìdí náà ló ṣe fẹ́ di sóyòyò tó ń bóra.
Starting the movie or before the movie started, they had interviews saying, oh, Ayinla was this was what that is there, this is the investigation that was being made. And then part of those that did talk say that Ayinla, that when he got into a fight with his manager, he drew the manager out of the bar. And while the manager was trying to reason, like, I'm not going out with you, they were having arguments and all that, the manager grabbed the tumbler, that's what they call it back then, the cup, the glass of beer, what they call it back then was tumbler. He grabbed it and he hit it on Ayinla's head. That was what was being said before the movie started. Or should I say it's part of the movie? What you gave us in the movie at the end of the scene before Ayinla's death was Ayinla and the manager Ayinla held the manager in the bar. What happened to taking Ayinla outside the bar and just fitting it into what was being said before the movie started, because the interview is also part of the movie. I feel on that part, continuity, or maybe Tunde Kilani just is an oversight or something, but that shouldn't have been done, because if you tell us that before the movie, like, oh, he was taken outside of the bar and then he died outside the bar, not inside the bar, but in the movie he died at the bar, there is no continuation of what has been said before the movie proper. So I feel on that part, I'm like, no, what is going on here? You said it was outside and now it's dying inside. And then secondly, he said it was a tumbler that the manager hit on his head. But while when the argument was going on, like, the manager took a bottle and hit it on Ayinla's head, not a tumbler. That again, I'm like, what is going on? Is it too hard to find a glass? Is it too hard to find a tumbler? Why use a bottle instead of what has been previously said? Then during the interview, you said, oh, a lot of people followed Ayinla to the hospital room. In fact, they couldn't even breathe, like he were choking, because people didn't want him to die. His fans, his family, and all of that went straight ahead to the hospital, the theater. But when the movie was showing, it was just Ayinla, the doctor, and the man, his best friend or something, whoever the character was that was in the hospital. I felt like you should have done the same thing that you told us, like, oh, the hospital was overcrowded, the room was crowded, that he couldn't walk on him, and then found out that he was there. I felt like that same thing should have been portrayed in the movie. All those people outside the hospital that you showed us that were outside should have probably just, put them inside the room where Ayinla was, as we're told, according to eyewitness that was there, like, oh, this is how Ayinla did, this is what they did to him. I felt like, that would have been like really cool. Then, speaking of the makeup, there wasn't continuity with Ayinla's ears, or is it Teddy right now? I literally saw this, I'm like, wait, I think he had this. Then when he got to the herbalist place, to fortify himself to become famous and all of that, and all of a sudden I didn't see the Teddy, I didn't see the design, the Teddy design, like he was fainted. So there was lag right there with the makeup. There wasn't continuity to say, oh, no, this is not well done and all of that.
His craft.
Lọ forúkọ mi sí London tí ẹ ń lọ yẹn.
Má bàbá travel. Ẹgbẹ́ ti pín.
But overall, Ayinla is a wonderful movie. If you haven't seen it, you can, go subscribe to Netflix. Stop asking people for the Netflix account and password. That's a joke. But Ayinla is on Netflix right now. You can watch it, you can learn from it. This is a man this is a man who uses music during these days to talk about, issues in the society, government, individual act. I loved, and I recently heard this one on Sisi Eko, so I'm like, yeah. So see you next time on Movie Review with Light the Lights On. Hope you enjoyed this one. Ayinla. Bye.
Ẹgbẹ́ ti pín.
Ẹnìkan bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ eré bì, wọ́n kó tọ́ọ̀gì lọ. Nítorí bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ eré bì, wọ́n kó tọ́ọ̀gì lọ. Gbọ́dọ̀ pé ìfọ̀kàn ṣe lọ. Ẹ̀yin ni wàá ti gbà ní iṣẹ́ kiri sí.
Ní yọ̀kí bá wa rọ́ọ̀lù mi, ṣé kí n máa wòran ni?
What did we do to him?
Àyìnlá nìkan ló lè ṣe.
We are in business.
táwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ ìtàn túmọ̀ ẹ̀ òyìnbó ló